Chinese online retailer Alibaba is reportedly investing $200 million in social media company Snapchat. So what could that mean for those companies and really for Snapchat's users here? Joining us now to talk about that is Jag Bath, Senior Vice President of Product at RetailMeNot.com. Jag, this is staggering on so many levels. The valuation could be $15 billion given this investment. What's your take on the deal? How could Alibaba benefit? Why is it doing this?
Yeah, well, it's a huge deal. There's no doubt about it. Alibaba, well, look, they're one of the largest tech companies in China. And like large tech companies here in the US, they're sitting on huge piles of cash. And while that looks great on the balance sheet, they really have to do something with that cash. And like most companies, they're either investing heavily in acquisitions or making investments like this. And we've seen investments like this in the past. Microsoft made an investment in 2007 in Facebook, and actually more recently, Yahoo made an investment in Alibaba of about $1 billion for a 40% stake in 2005. And recently, when Alibaba went public, they had a hugely successful IPO, which resulted in a $40 billion return for Yahoo. So I think when Alibaba look at a company like Snapchat, they're certainly looking at this from an investment standpoint and putting that cash to good use. But also, it's a great learning experience for them. Snapchat has a huge audience, 200 million active users. And for a company like Alibaba, this will be a great learning experience, especially as they invest more deeply in mobile services in China and here in the US.
All right, so that's Alibaba, and that's their view on this and how they would approach this particular transaction. But how about the Snapchat point of view? Does this change Snapchat from a business perspective? I mean, they're getting this investment, this flow of cash in. What are they going to do with it? Do they do anything differently at all just because of this Alibaba tie-up now?
Yeah, well, one of the largest challenges that Snapchat have is monetizing this huge audience. And this investment, as well as other investments that they've taken recently, will help them invest more deeply in their technology infrastructure. Mobile is a changing technology. It requires a solid infrastructure in place. There's a lot of data that they're sitting on, so they'll be investing in that. And then, of course, advertising. We've seen Snapchat advertising more and more to their user base. They have to be very careful about how they do that. They don't want to disrupt this great user experience that they have and a user base that is very, very heavily engaged right now. And so they'll use the money to really invest deeply in some of that data, I think, and targeting the user base more elegantly. And then we'll see them invest in new products as well. They've invested recently in experimenting with mobile payments, peer-to-peer cash transfers, and then, of course, targeted advertising. So I think they'll put this money to good use, largely around trying to monetize this huge audience.
So you've hit on a number of different topics here. Can you hone it down for us here? The consumer side of things. You got an Alibaba side. They're a huge e-commerce platform with a number of businesses, and then you've got Snapchat with their business model. How will consumers be impacted by this deal, if at all?
Well, the best impact that consumers will likely see is just a better experience. So there'll be a move that consumers will see away from the core chat experience. That will always be there, but it's really what is around the edges that Snapchat can implement to help the user experience be much better for those users, to help solve problems that those users are potentially facing in other parts when it comes to mobile. And so I think we will see a change here. We saw this with other companies like Facebook. Facebook's core value prop is still there, but they launched their own chat platform. They launched other features and functionality that users are finding handy. And so I think that's the biggest change that users will see.
All right, so the user experience maybe not dramatically different just because of this particular investment, but still another sign for these private companies, a possible $15 billion valuation for a social media company. Jag Bath, thank you so much for joining us. That's Jag Bath of RetailMeNot.com. And I'm Dominic Chu. Thanks for watching TechBet. Have a great day.
Hey YouTube fans, I'm Landon Dowdy from CNBC. Thank you so much for checking out our channel. You can subscribe by clicking right here to check out the latest Mad Money CEO interviews, market news, financial advice, and product unboxing. Enjoy!